Hello and welcome back to the next One Piece review and discussion. And this chapter throws a curveball so far left field that I was not expecting what we were going to find out. If I had an Elbaf bingo card of things I was expecting to show up in this arc, a couple of things that appear in this chapter alone were not even remotely considered. I did not expect what we are about to see, and I need to know what happens next. Like, this chapter alone is such a setup. I just want to know more now. I need to know the rest of it because Oda has given us something that is just absolutely crazy. So, we need to talk about this. Without further ado, chapter 1149. 1 second. Now, there is no cover story, there is no colour spread. We are jumping into this action straight away. So, last we had left off was all focused around the ultimatum that Summer was giving to the Giants, specifically Ja Rule. As the elder, the leader of the Giants, he was like, "You are the one who gets the say. But, just so you are aware, we are holding the kids hostages. Ronja, who the chapter was named after, was chosen from amongst the kids. She was taken out to the edge of a branch on a Gunko arrow, ready to drop. And the declaration was that if Ja Rule gave the word, the kids would be saved, but he would have to burn down the schools and libraries with everything still inside and declare his allegiance to the world government and work underneath them. Now, it was a very tense sort of chapter, Robin and Gaban didn't want this to happen. They were very invested. Robin even just started to step in and intervene with Summer, causing all sorts of problems. She created a clone of herself, as we've seen before, and she threw herself on him and off a branch, trying to take him away to deactivate his powers around the kids. But unfortunately, it did not go to plan. She was then captured, and Ronja gave this really impactful, empowering speech as a child of Elbaf, saying how she loves school, that's where her friends are, the memories, and she would be really sad if they burned down the schools to save her. So we were left with a very crucial moment, and in the last seconds, Ja Rule declared to Ange, because obviously it was being dictated to everyone, to burn down the school. So in that moment, Ja Rule on his last legs, declaration declared. Gaban, just at mock speed, appears and cuts Summer, causing him to bleed, taking some damage. As we've seen, the God's Knights are immortal in some degree. They just repair whatever damage they take. But Gaban's attack was effective. He severed his arm off. He's done a cut across his chest. And we pick up here in the immediate reaction of everyone around. Summer hits the floor. Gaban, incredibly, finishes the attack and is like, "Man, I'm kind of rusty here. This is slow of me." And everyone is freaking out. How did that attack happen? How did it even work? This is something we've not seen before. And we see that Summer kind of gets up to his feet, creates a barrier of all his briars, but even Gaban just smashes through it. He is ferocious with this axe in hand, and he is causing Summer a lot of issues. And Summer is Mountain Eater, why are you even here on Elbaf? What are you doing? So they don't know his connection to Elbaf. They don't know. They just thought it was just a happenstance. He happened to be here in his sort of summer get up. But we see as Nami explains to the others, like, he went toe to toe with Luffy and Zoro, and like he was just like completely overwhelming. Like, he's Colin's dad, like he's a big fighter, and like Jinbei's like, wait, hold up, that's Scopper Gabon. Like, that guy even rivals like Rayleigh, like he's equal to Rayleigh. He's the left hand of the Pirate King. Like, this dude is in the land of the giants. Like, what is going on? And while they're all reacting to this, my boy Chopper is analysing. He's not getting caught up in this moment. He is watching everything and is like, these attacks are working. What is he doing differently? Like, how come it's working? And he's really trying to focus on what Gabon is doing to be able to damage Summer. And I really like that the others are like, they're trying their best. Like, even Robin's like, look, I can use my powers, but it's really difficult. And Jinbei's like, no, like, this is a bad matchup for you and even for like others. Like, hand-to-hand combat style isn't good for this guy. Like, it's got to be weapons, which is why Gabon is kind of really posing quite a threat to him. But we see a massive attack come out from Summer, and he causes the whole area around him to erupt with thorns, and he creates this like Crimson Lotus style attack, he calls it, like a massive, every square inch of this area is barbed thorns, and they're all lashing towards Gabon. And he's like, you know what, I'm caught up now, I'm in a bit of a hurry, let me just finish this. And he jumps and just like beheads Summer, like cuts him across like the top of his shoulders, and like severs his head, and like it splinters from his body. Summer is down. It's like, whoa, okay. He rolls out of the thorns and says, that was close, but I'm in a rush here, I need to get to Colin. And everyone's like freaking out now, like, hold up, he just did like one serious move and he's out. Like, Summer's done. It's like, how? And they're all still obviously bandaged up, so Gunko's ability is still active, so they can't still move. Chopper leaps out of Saul's like beard or just his hair, and instead just runs after Gabon. And everyone's like, whoa, like, Chopper, what are you doing? Where are you going? And he doesn't give time to like say it, because obviously he's jumping on the briars as well, so bless him, he's getting hurt. But he's assessing the situation, and he's like, there's got to be some crucial information I can glean here as to how we can face someone who is immortal. There's got to be more, and I need to be able to see it. So Chopper is like full on like assessing the situation, and fair play to him, like, he knows that he's seen there's more of them. We need to be able to deal with all of them. So if Gabon doesn't end up getting to take them all down, like, we've got to be able to step in. But we actually step away for a moment, and we come back to the school, where some of the kids are still asleep here under Kiringam's ability, because obviously he's still here. And he's like, right, all done then. And we zoom out and we see the library just in a blaze. Ange is in tears, and he's like, that was hard for you, but it had to be done. But oh, don't worry, like, I'll deal with the final building. And he shoots a flaming arrow, very Viking style, over at the school, and it catches the building, and we see everyone's reaction from outside. Like, Robin looks over the branches and sees in the distance the school catching fire, and the place begins to burn, and everyone is reeling from the fact that this is happening now. And it's like, Ja Rule is in tears, he's like on his knees, everyone's trying to comfort him, like, it's not your fault, like, you had to do it, don't worry. But he's like, it was like the words of our ancestors, like it was history itself, and I was the one who's like chosen this. And we get the confirmation over the snail, and it's killing him, saying, ignition's complete, mission's done. And Gunko brings Ronja back into line, and she's like, show a bit of compassion, show a little bit of joy. And still, while broadcasting to everyone, Ronja apologizes, and she's like, I'm sorry for being alive. It's all my fault that everything is burning. And it's such a heartbreaking moment where this like kid is confessing to this, and all of the kids around, all the giants who are rushing here are like, Ronja, it's not your fault, like we're coming. Like, it is such an emotional beat here before Gaban rocking up, saying that culture, history, the children of this island, you have no right to take it away. And there is an immediate recognition because it's Scott Gaban. You gotta know who this guy is. Gunko's like, the Pirate King's crew, like, do you know resisting means that these hostages are gonna die? And there's a moment where all the kids recognise him. They're like, Yarsan's here. Look, Yarsan's come to rescue us. We're fine. And Gaban has a thought, and he's like, oh shit. He's like, Colin, don't give it away. Please don't say anything. And immediately, Colin shouts, Dad. And there's just like a heartbreaking moment where he's like ecstatic. He's like, guys, my dad's here to save us all. He's stronger than anyone. Like, he's the one who's going to say. And Gunko just like glances. And it's too late. Gaban can't land an attack here. Arrows just avoid it completely. She skirts over and holds like a massive bandage like lance to Colin's neck. And he's like screaming now. She's got it like right to like his vein. And Gaban is like, this is like the worst. Like, I just need to act now. If it gets out of hand, it'll be a lot worse. I can still save Elbaf. I can save the library. Like, I can put the fire out. But it needs to be in an instant. And he's like, I just need 1 second. Colin, you just need to wait for 1 second. You're a strong kid. You can do this. And Colin starts to like build up his courage. He's like, I've got this. I'm a warrior like you. I can grin and bear it. You please like defeat her. And there is a really cold line from Gunko where she's like, a life taken cannot be returned. And Gaban's like thinking back to like when Colin was born, and we see like that emotional moment with like Ripley, and like Colin is a very small infant, and he's such a cutie. Thank you for giving him life, Ripley. This is the treasure of a lifetime. So this thing, like this whole situation, is like the worst case scenario for Gaban because of how much he treasures Colin. And we see even like Ripley is like hoping he's okay, and he's like scrunching his face. He's like, you can see a little bit of blood starting to trickle. And the panel of Gaban here, in just sheer like max output of haki and anger and everything combined, like the fury on this dude to protect his child, is like the max. And he is saying to himself, if I can't stop her here, everything is going to be a whole lot worse. and then he uses advanced observation and he sees he's too late. He looks into the future, those brief seconds that he can, and he sees that Gunko just follows through and stabs Colin through the neck, kills Colin, and there is a moment of recognition instantly, and in the swing the axe drops and Gaban is like, stop, I give up, you've won, like hands up. They like instantaneously reacts to that, and Gunko pulls the sword away and is like, just so weak. And it is Gaban who then apologises to Elbaf itself, to the people, to everyone, and he gets pierced with 3 arrows and gets sent down to the underworld. I wonder where he's going to land. There's only one place where there are people in the underworld, and for wonderful reasons, I think Luffy's about to hit Gaban's body, hit the floor, and go, there's trouble. So, that in itself, very sad, very touching moment where Gaban realises it's not enough. He wasn't quick enough. That 1 second wasn't enough to save his kid, and he had to give it up. And the left hand of the Pirate King has taken a serious wound here. 3 arrows through the chest. He's about to fall into the underworld. Like, he's gone. He's apologising to Colin as he falls. He's like, it must have really hurt. And like, I'm so sorry, son. I'm so sorry. And then there's a moment where Colin is like watching this play out, and he's just like screaming dad, and he's like shouting his name, and all the kids reacting, and he keeps just shouting dad. And then Gunko hesitates. She stops and she hears him screaming dad, and it triggers something. It triggers a memory from a long time ago when she was a kid, when she was screaming for her father as a child, and she's like, what is this memory? Like what's going on? And then we see it. 2 shadowed figures of young Gunko and a man who's saying his dream is to go out and become a pirate. And he sings Yo Ho Ho. Gunko is Brooks' daughter? What? Like, I didn't think we were going to get more to Brooks' backstory, let alone Brooke has a kid. Like, Gunko is having flashbacks, like memories that have unlocked from Colin screaming of Brooke being her dad from years and years ago. And we see Brooke, we jump back to Brooke, who's like, they're trying to still rustle in their bandages, but to no avail. And he's just apologised, and he's like, I'm so sorry. Like, he's starting to realise who it was. And she clocks it. She like snaps out of whatever was keeping hold of her. And Gunko's like, Brooke, like, that was you, Brooke. And she begins to run towards the Straw Hats before a wave of something hits Gunko. And a voice begins to sort of emanate in her mind. Eam reaches out from Marie Joie and says, "What is with all this commotion?" And Kiringham hears it. Summer's like down for the count, like he's pierced by his own barbs. His ability's not been deactivated, but he's just out. He's like, "Ow!" And we get a final moment of Eam saying that the Holy Land is currently a sea of flames, though you lot seem to require some additional military force. The kids are like, "Whoa, why is this lady now got a very scary expression on her face?" We see a shot of a very shadowed, angry Gunko, possessed, taken over, inhabited by Eam, simply saying that Mu will show thee the dominion of God. Her eyes have changed to mimic Eam's eyes. There is like pouring, like black lightning just like emanating off Gunko's body. Like the hair's unfurled, it's like almost longer. And she is like completely like no emotion. And that's where the chapter ends. So not only does Gaban fall, we get confirmation that the connection that we thought was just Gunko liked Brooks' music and they might have had a crossing back in the day was theorised. Nope, it's Brooks' kid, Brooks' daughter, who somehow had her memories forgotten and wiped of Brooke being her dad, or it was just a very clever plan from Eam a long time ago. Obviously he went out to sea and she maybe just became orphaned, or for whatever reason, we don't know, like who's her mother. But the fact that she had remembered, had the thought, and instantaneously Eam was like, "I don't care that Marishwar is currently a sea of flame. We're currently being attacked by something. Is Dragon finally acting? Is it Blackbeard? There is a number of candidates, though not many, who would be able to, or even want to, attack Marishwar." So, currently, Marishwar is not looking good. It's had the fallout from Kuma a couple days ago from getting past the defences. And now all of a sudden there is some force attacking it. So Marishwar's not safe anymore. The bigger question is, in the chaos that is currently happening, Eam has the power, nay, the ability to not care about what is happening at Marishwar, and is like, "Oh, looks like there's more of a problem on Elbaf. I am going to submit, I'm going to send my consciousness into Gunko, possess her and take her over to show real force." How devastating is this next chapter going to be? Are we going to get a confrontation, a setup between Eam and Luffy now? Where, like, you know, Gunko's going to go on this devastating rampage. And, like, the setup was even there before. Like, Gunko exclusively used arrows. We saw back when Eam was fighting Sabo and stuff, using, like, arrow-like attacks. So, whether there's some connection there. Can Eam do this with almost anyone, or are there certain requirements for this possession? You know, Kiringham, Summer, could it be any Holy Knight who is just imbued with Eames' powers, I guess, or being granted this immortality from Eam. And I realised something when I read this chapter, and it blew my mind. What if the reason the Holy Knights came here was for Loki to join the God's Knights? What if the only intention for even trying to recruit Loki, because even they were like, this dude's not going to join, like, why are we even here to do this? Even like Shamrock himself showed up, the commander of the God's Knights. What if it was all because Eam is a being that has survived this long through possession and taking over individuals? Like, we assume and we know Eam was around back in the Void Century, but what if the body Eam is currently in wasn't the body way back when? It could be with this immortality, we don't know yet. But what if Eam is a being that just inhabits a body, takes it over, and that's how they've survived the hundreds of years? What if the only reason for Loki's sort of recruitment was so that Eam could take possession of Loki's body? I'm saying it now. That's still a possibility. We don't know the requirements yet, but now that Eam's here, what if we saw Eam possess Loki? Eam controls Loki's body and Loki's legendary devil fruit, on top of, we see here, like, Eam has empowered Gunko in a multitude of ways. The will, the sheer force of conquerors and Haki coming off Gunko's body. What if that's going to be the confrontation? Where Luffy does have to take on Loki, but it's not Loki, it is Eam possessing Loki. Ooh, it's so good. There was theory thrown out, I saw yesterday, because obviously with this chapter leak, that what if Mihawk, having similar eyes, because we see Gunko's eyes have now changed to mimic Eam's eyes, what if Mihawk was once someone who was a servant or was someone possessed by Eam, and that's why they became the legendary swordsman and was able to ascend to such heights, but now they are no longer, like, involved. Something happened, I guess. They've stepped away. Mihawk doesn't really fight as much anymore, or at least a lot more people can stand toe to toe with Mihawk, we've seen, as the story progresses. Whereas back in the day, it was like, no, Mihawk's like the dude. This took such an unexpected turn. Like, I had no thought that Eam would show up in such a way, like, to just possess someone. And the fact that we now have what we assumed was going to be like a very Usopp focused arc, because obviously he's been wanting to come here for a long time. No, we just get Brook backstory. Brook is a dad. Brook's daughter is right in front of him. And how we're going to console that is just beyond me. Crazy. Thank you for staying and watching this long. I've rambled a lot here, but this was a phenomenal chapter. I do appreciate you staying and watching. Let me know what you thought of this chapter. Thank you. I will see you guys next time. Bye.